All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to tackle one of the toughest parts of learning English: how to make that huge leap from being a beginner, an A1 level, to a really confident intermediate B1 speaker.
So, does this sound familiar? You've learned some words, you know some grammar, but when you actually try to use it in a real conversation, it just feels impossible? Well, you are not alone. This is a super common learning plateau, and today we're going to build the ladder to climb right over it.
So, let's start by getting a really clear picture of what this A1 plateau is all about. What does it actually feel like to be stuck there? And more importantly, where are we trying to go? I mean, this slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at the huge difference we're talking about here. Over on the left at A1, you've got a great start, about 500 words. But check out the destination on the right, B1. Your vocabulary just explodes to over 2,000 words. You go from just answering simple questions to actually sharing your opinions, talking about the news. You become a truly independent user of the language. And this, right here, this gets to the absolute core of the problem. You can spend all your time memorizing word lists and grammar rules, but if you don't have a system to actually connect it all, that knowledge just sits there. It's kind of like having a box full of car engine parts, but zero instructions on how to actually build the car.
Okay, so knowing that challenge, let's focus on the good stuff. Let's talk about the destination. Why is getting to the B1 level such a total game changer? What's waiting for you on the other side?
Reaching B1 isn't just about passing some test. It's about unlocking a whole new world. It's the level where you can travel and make real, genuine connections with people. It's where you can finally pick up a book like Harry Potter and actually get lost in the story. And for a lot of people, it's the key that unlocks amazing job and university opportunities. The point is, this is where English stops being a subject you study and starts being a real tool you can use in your life.
Okay, so how do we get there? Well, the answer isn't just to study harder. The real key is to study smarter, and you do that with something called the Balanced Skills System.
This quote from our source material just hits the nail on the head. So many learners get stuck because they focus on just one thing, like maybe grammar, but they totally ignore speaking, or they learn a ton of words but never actually practice using them in a sentence. This lack of a system, well, it's the biggest roadblock to making progress. And this is exactly what that system looks like, see? It's not about mastering one skill and then moving to the next. It's about working on all of them, all at the same time. Listening, reading, speaking, writing, grammar, vocabulary, they all help each other get stronger. Think of it like a good workout plan. You wouldn't just train your arms and expect to get fit, right? So let's break down how to actually build this system, and we'll start with your input skills. This is all about how you take in the language, through your ears and your eyes. When it comes to listening, here's a super simple 3-step plan. First, rewatch movies and shows you already know and love. Seriously, it takes all the pressure off. Second, follow what you enjoy. If you love it, you're going to learn so much faster. And third, you have to try this technique called shadowing. It's amazing. You just listen to a sentence and then repeat it right away. It's like a direct workout for your speaking and listening muscles. And what about reading? Well, don't feel like you have to jump straight into some super advanced novel. Start with what they call graded readers, which are just books that have been adapted for your specific level. Or try modern classics that have pretty simple language. Even comics and blogs are great. And hey, here's a fantastic pro tip for you. Reading out loud is one of the best ways to practice your pronunciation while you're learning new words. All right, now for the other half of this whole thing, output. This is where you are actively producing the language. And I know for a lot of people, this is the scariest part. But it really doesn't have to be. So how in the world do you practice speaking? Well, the best way for sure is with a real person who can give you feedback. So finding a teacher can be a great investment. But you can also practice all by yourself. There are apps for this, or you can just find common exam questions online and practice answering them out loud. The main thing is to just get your mouth moving and making those English sounds. Now, let's talk about writing. This is the one skill that so many learners skip, but trust me, it is so powerful. Why? Because when you write, you actually have time to think. It's like your own personal laboratory where you can try out new words and practice tricky grammar without the pressure of a real-time conversation. And look, you don't need to write long essays. Just start small. A 5-minute journal entry every day, a quick comment on a blog post, maybe summarize your week in a few sentences. These little habits build consistency, and they reinforce everything else you're learning in a really practical way. Phew, okay, we've covered the what, the why, and the how. So let's pull this all together into a really clear 3-step action plan that you can start using literally the second this is over.
Here it is. Step 1, figure out exactly where you are right now. Take a quick test. Step 2, make a decision about how you want to learn. There's no one right answer, only what's right for you. And step 3, and this is the most important one of all, be consistent. Seriously, a little bit every single day is so much better than trying to cram for hours just once a week.
And let's end on this really powerful idea. Progress isn't about being perfect or having some special talent for languages. It really just comes down to 2 things: having a balanced system, like the one we've talked about, and having the discipline to stick with it. And you know what? You can absolutely 100% do it.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Forget about next week or next month. Based on everything we just covered, what is the one single small thing you're going to do today to start your journey from A1 to B1?